Life teaches us a lot of lessons, and in these lessons we find ourselves confused a lot of times. We do not know how to communicate about all of these lessons learnt in life, and we just simply try communicating them, even if we speak in English, in the most simple manner possible, because we do not know the exact way of talking about it. Hi everyone, my name is Hridhaan, and I welcome each one of you with a very big heart on Let's Talk. In today's lesson, we're going to be talking about phrases that we can use, most interesting phrases that we can use to talk about lessons learned in life. The first phrase that we have in the list is, a burnt child dreads the fire. So, burnt, everybody knows, is something that you feel, the feeling if you touch fire. So a child who has actually experienced how it feels when the child touches fire is called a burnt child dreads the fire. The child does not want to go to that, does not want to experience that feeling again. It means become more cautious of danger having experienced it once. What is the meaning of cautious? Cautious means to be careful. To be careful of not repeating the same mistake because it has hurt you already. Let's see how we can use it in the form of an example here. Be cautious from now on. A burnt child dreads the fire. That means be careful of not repeating the mistake again, because a burnt child has the experience of how it hurts. The next phrase that we have in the list is, every rose has its thorn. Now, everybody knows that a rose is a beautiful flower that people exchange most of the times on Valentine's Day. And thorn is that pointed out thing that every rose has. Now, if the stem of that rose has thorns, nobody would want to have it because it might as well hurt. What is the meaning of this phrase? It means any good thing has its own flaws. Rose is a very beautiful flower, but it also has its flaws. It also has something that people do not like about it. And what is that? The thorns. And so, every rose has its thorn means any good thing, any good situation has its own flaws, has its own set of negative aspects, negative things attached with it. Let's see how we can use it in an example. Life has become easier with the advent of science. Advent means with the progress in sciences. But every rose has its thorn. It has affected man's relationship with nature. That means, but even the progress in science has affected humanity in a negative manner. How? Because humans have lost touch with the nature. The next phrase on the list of lessons learned from life is, half a loaf is better than none. What is a loaf? Have you ever eaten any bread? Now, when the bread comes in that big form of that bread is called a loaf. Now, the person is saying, if the person is hungry, that half a loaf is better than none. That means, if you're not giving me anything, if you're not giving me any of that, give me at least half of that, because to a hungry person, that half is enough. For example, something is better than nothing is what it means. Something is better than nothing. Half a loaf is better than none. Example time. Out of $5,000, he has only returned me $3,000, but I'm glad since half a loaf is better than nothing. And so the person ends up saying the fact that I've gotten a little bit of it. Half does not exactly mean $2,500. It can be just a portion of it. Half a dollar, half a loaf is better than nothing. Or you can use none as well for that matter. Let's move on to the next phrase for lessons learned in life, and that is, have an ace up your sleeve. So this is a sleeve. What is an ace up your sleeve? Let's have a look at it. To possess something that you can use to get some advantage. That means you have something in particular, especially with you, that gives you an advantage over others. For example, he must be having an ace up his sleeve. That is why our boss always consults him before passing any decision. That means something is about that person. That person has an ace up his or her sleeve. Let us now move on to the next phrase on the list. Never say die. Never say die is an exclamation. It is used in response to something. It means used to encourage someone not to give up hope in a difficult situation. Never say die is a very interesting phrase when you want to motivate somebody and want to talk about the person shouldn't give up in whatever that person is doing. That's when you should use the phrase never say die, because you want to encourage that person. For example, you have failed the exam twice. It's okay. Never say die. Appear one more time. Never say die. Let us now move on to the next phrase. Union is strength. What is union? Union means a lot of people coming together, and I'm sure a lot of people must have told you, and you must have experienced it firsthand in your life, that union, people that work together, give better results than somebody working alone. It means if people join together, they are more powerful than if they work by themselves. That's very true. For example, if you're a part of a team, but you start working alone because you're not sociable or you're an introvert, you wouldn't be able to get the result of that particular action as much as you would be able to if you'd work with the team. Let's see how we can use it in an example. You can't work on this massive project without your team. Remember, union is strength. So the person is using it as an exclamation and giving advice that union always gives best fruits, best juice than you working all by yourself, because it might take a lot of time. This was about union is strength. Let us now move to the next one. To burn your fingers. Well, it is quite related to the first one that we had done, if you remember. To burn your finger means to harm oneself or to suffer consequences of one's action. What are consequences? Consequences are negative results. Let's see how we can use it. My father put a lot of money in shady stocks without researching, and he burnt his fingers. That is a very sad situation, because the father had put a lot of money in the stocks and did not research on that. And it happened so that he went on a loss and ended up burning his fingers. Have you ever done something that burnt your fingers as well? That means something that gave you negative results. Use this vocabulary and make a sentence in the comments section below, and do let me know, because I read all of them. So that was all about to burn your fingers. Let us now move to the next one. The next one is two wrongs don't make right. Used most of the times as an exclamation. Let's see what it means. It means to justify a wrong act just because they did the same to you. Have you ever faced situations in life wherein you responded in a negative way to a person's action in the same manner which the person did to you? A negative act, basically. For example, if somebody abused you and you abused that person back. So that is what this exclamation and the lesson learned for life means. Two wrongs don't make right. Let's see how we can use it. He abused you and you abused him back. Two wrongs don't make right. Two wrongs don't make right. That means if two people did the same thing, it'll not negate down to a positive action. It will remain negative. Let us now move to the next one. The next one is, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink it. What is a horse? Let's say a horse is a man. Let's just imagine. A horse is a man, and you are taking that horse to water. What does that mean? So you're basically guiding that particular person towards something, a thirsty horse towards something. Let's say a lake or something where the person can satiate his thirst. But you can't make it drink it. That means you can't force that person to drink the water, because probably the person is just not in the mood to. What it means you can only guide someone, but you can't force them to follow it. You can only show directions to people, but if they act on it and not act on it, it's totally their choice, and it's totally their presence of mind and what they basically have to do. For example, there's no point in telling him about various jobs since he's not interested in applying anywhere. And what does all of that mean? It's actually an acronym of all of this. You can lead a horse to water. You can lead a horse to water but can't make it drink it. This was about you can lead a horse to water but can't make it drink it. Let's now move to the next one. The next one is many hands make light work. Light does not mean the bulb light. Light means easy work. It means a task is soon accomplished if several people help. Well, this is talking about a very interesting word in English called synergy. Synergy means if a lot of people do one work together, it'll be achieved in a fast manner. Let's see how we can use it. I have seen that many hands make light work when your family faces difficulty. If many hands come together, the work becomes light, the work becomes easy, and everybody is happy. Let's move to the next one in the list. Forewarn is forearmed. You might just get confused with the pronunciation of this phrase. Forewarn, please repeat after me. Forewarn is forearmed. Let's just divide it like this. Please repeat after me. Forewarn, forewarned, or in present only forewarn, is forearmed. What does it mean? It means if you know about something before it happens, you can be prepared for it. For example, children often show forewarned is forearmed in their level of maturity of dealing with strangers. Well, the parents have taught enough lessons to their children, especially in the 21st century, in terms of dealing with strangers. Not to tell about any of your personal details, not to take them along to your houses, etc. So they have been forewarned is forearmed. They have been forewarned to be forearmed. They have been already told what to do, and thus they are forearmed. They know how to deal with the situation. This was all about all the phrases that we have when it comes to talking about lessons learned in life. If you have any of these, if you've had any of these situations in your life, please do write a comment and do let us know what was that. Thank you very much for being with me on this video, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Take care, and may all your dreams come true.